And welcome back to another episode. We're back to the engine. I'm going to try and get through this one because this is just killing me. If you've ever had something you started that you wish almost immediately you didn't start, and you just want to get it done, that's what this has turned into for us. Well, for me. I just want it done, and I want it done right. I don't want to steer you guys in the wrong direction, and I want help. Hopefully this is going to help a few people. Remember to thumbs up if it has helped you, for other people can see it and help them as well, hopefully. Right? Raise. Oops. I don't know why that's on an angle like that. Oh, there we go. I don't know why it's down so much. Anyways. So, if it has helped you, make sure you thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, and we could help other people. And they'll see the video and it'll help them too. And in a thing like making games that's so hard to get started in, any help you can get is great. Okay, so let's go on with the car. Alright, so we have fuel injection. That would serve as a carburetor. It's a newer version of carburetor basically, and so we don't need a carburetor at this point. We need an air box probably to go into that. Maybe not. I don't know exactly now. Maybe not. Maybe we just run it to a fuel pump. I don't really know. Maybe you're going to have to look at engines a little closer. I'm just kind of guessing here. I did look up some of these parts, but I'm not going to look them all up. I think you get the idea. We'll just do the major parts, and if you have to do a little extra on your own, I apologize for the inconvenience, but you're going to have to do it. Alright, so I would probably want to make some sort of distributor cap, I'd imagine. And how we're going to do this, and there's a reason I use the shapes that I do. I'm going to use a square, and there's a reason for it. A reason I always use them is because I'm able to make their shapes work in almost every situation. Another example of this is I was working on another project, and I was trying to get a flat edge and then curve the sides, and I think it was the MPC one, and I just couldn't quite get the shape on the waist or the lower half of the body that I wanted. Sorry, I got clicked on the wrong thing. And it's a good example of that basically. If I had to use this shape and molded it a little bit, I probably would have been fine. But I didn't. So we're going to highlight the whole bottom face too, holding shift. So we got that basically, okay? Control B. And we're going to, you know what? I did that wrong. Let's do a different way to give it a different look. I got a better idea for this. So we're going to get rid of that edge, and this edge, okay? Yeah, I think this is what we want. We might have to do these two, I'm not sure. Let's try. No, let's not do those two. Okay, we'll turn those off. Do we need that one? It's not the look I want again. Let's try that again. I think that's the look I want. I want this back edge flat, and I want the rest of it kind of rounded basically. Add a couple more segments and we'll redo that. Now that we made sure we have the right ones, just undo. And we're going to Control B. Maybe something like this, okay? Alright. Maybe actually go back, sorry. I got a better idea. We're going to change this a little first before we do that. Apologize again, but I'm making it on the fly. I'm just trying to get a look that's going to kind of work for us. I think if we tuck in that edge before we do this, it'll kind of make more sense to do this whole thing here. We'll try it now. Sorry about that. And yes, it's just a little bit better for what I'm trying to do. And the axes are still straight for us, so what I'll do now is I'll just kind of punch that in, like so. See where I'm going in a few minutes, just hang in there. Probably, I'm going to just sink this in just a little bit. So what I'm planning with this is to make a distributor cap, but I want our cap to be perfectly level with those. So I want the top of this to be flat, but I want to curve the bottom end to kind of hide that edge. Go in and out however far you want, whatever look you want. You might want to square it off. That's up to you. Okay? I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do as an example, and you do you, okay? Wanted to say that too. I'm really glad so many people internationally have been watching my videos, but you've got to remember to thumbs up them for other people can also find them. If you found it helpful, hopefully they will too. Alright? Just helps with the algorithms and all that stuff. Alright, so we will shrink this with S. Okay. Edit mode, grab the bottom face. How do I have two highlighted at once? That's so weird. Alright, S. I guess you can do that. Okay, something like that. So we're going to hit E. Hit S. Okay. No, let's actually hit E again. Let's give that a little bit of a lip, then go in, then E. And we'll go just, hopefully we can make this work a little bit. We might have to change the shape or shrink it a little bit. Let's see what we got. Are we going to hit the engine? No, we just clear the engine. Perfect. Good work, everybody. If yours is the same, perfect. If you need a minute to adjust it, take your time. Just pause the video. We'll be waiting for you. Alright, and this is going to be our distributor cap, basically. So we better not attach anything yet, because I don't know what we're going to do. We'll attach everything when we're done to make sure we don't get messed up here, okay? I guess there's a pretty good chance some of these things you're not going to want to ever attach, so maybe we'll just want to attach them ever, because you're probably going to want to use constraints to hold these things together. I'm not a programmer. I'm a game designer. If you're doing this all by yourself, I feel very, very sorry for you. I could only advise you in this half, the half that I do. I can't say much about programming or even really animations. I don't really do a whole lot of them. I design stuff here, and I design the levels of the games that we make. And that's me. The rest is my mighty queen, our programmer. And she is the best. Don't you forget it. Alright. So that's the kind of look we want for it. Maybe we want to shrink these a little bit. Okay, maybe we want to make this a hair bigger, something like that, just to give it more character. Maybe we want to shrink it a bit more. Maybe you want to round the edges. You're going to have to do you. Make it look how you want it to look. But if you've seen a distributor cap, it should be something similar to this. Maybe I'm making an old style, so make it the way you need to. Just going to join this together as one part. Oh, shoot. No, that's fine. That should be fine. And then we'll make some extra parts for it. So let's make another cylinder. I was going to reuse that piece, but then I was thinking I don't need to reuse it. That's fine. Should be exactly on center. So shrink it down to where we want it. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to basically make 4 posts where our... And you're going to have to decide on the height on these, but it's going to be where our spark plugs are going to be matched in here. Basically the wires of them should plug into here. And if you need this whole thing to be a little smaller, or you want to give it some room, for you have some room to curve around the corner, well, that might not be a bad idea. Maybe we'll do that too, just to give us a little extra room. So that corner is going to be a little awkward for everybody. So plan ahead or end up dead, as they say, right? How did that happen? I must have grew it too much at some point. Maybe we'll move it down there. Gotta make sure we clear our engine, even if there's just a little bit of room. If you're making this attach in your game, you don't want to create collision issues. You gotta make a space in between them. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do Shift D, and I'm not on a line, so I can't really use that. So we'll just drag it over. Estimate as best as you can, And we are on this line, so we can do Shift D. Which one is it now? Okay. Right click, 0. Oh, shoot. Put it in the middle. Put it over there. Shift D. And this is the only one we can use to make sure that it's perfectly even. And you're going to have to guess at the rest. You take your time, pause the video, put it in place, make sure it's looking good. Alright. Something like that anyways. That's what you probably want. So we can go ahead and attach these to our distributor. We shouldn't need to bool that or anything, so it could be its own part that attaches. If you want to make an attachment plate, we could probably do that quick if you'd like. You know what, I'm going to leave it, and if you guys want me to do them for you and show you where I would attach things and how I would do it, please comment in the videos, and I'll do that. Alright, okay. So how are we going to do this, guys? Let's just do one. And then we'll copy it while it's still straight, and then we'll turn them and make them work. And hopefully this is what you guys are looking for, and it's going to work for you, okay? So click off of it, Shift A, we're going to go ahead and make a cylinder. And this is going to be difficult, so bear with me, guys. Gotta remember I do these things live. I don't edit anything, and maybe that's a problem. Maybe it's something I should do and not your fault, obviously. But I just don't. I feel like you guys need to see me live do this and make my mistakes for you don't repeat them. Maybe I'm thinking about it wrong. Let me know in the comments what you think. Maybe I should rehearse these and just zip through them as fast as I possibly can. But I feel like we don't learn very much that way. We just kind of catch the basics. Alright, I'm going to sync it something like that, okay? And I know this isn't right yet, but we're just doing an example. And we're going to shrink both of these. So, just kind of checking what they're going to look like. And we're going to make a spark plug shape out of them, basically. Okay? I can't move them together. I'm going to want to make a hollow under on the bottom side in case you're making these where you can remove them. In which case you just scroll that down a little bit, and there you go. Okay. And we'll go ahead and bool that because we haven't attached it. We won't have any issues doing it. Okay. So what we need next is to move this over to a spark plug, okay? Once you got it, make sure it's even, drive it on, make sure none of your sides are coming out. This is terribly off. We're going to shrink this a little bit. It should help you center it a little bit. Okay. Maybe we'll just delete this one, and that way we don't have to match it. We can make sure we're exactly in the center of it over here. Excuse me. I think we're pretty good. And something you could do, if you need to, is you could bevel the underside of that on the edge of it. It'd be awfully hard to do because it's so small. But let's see something. Okay, so that's just 0 though. So if we just drag this, and we remember it's the top one, I believe. It should be a little easier to see the underside of it. What the heck just happened? Okay, if you can get this close. Switch, grab piece, switch to edit mode. Holy geez, sorry about that, guys. That was pretty hard to do. Go to edges, and if you want, you can bevel this bottom edge by hitting Control. Make sure you don't get any of those, and you're just getting the bottom ones. Apparently it won't let me grab them. It must be too far away. Oops. You You get the idea. Go all the way around. I think I got them all. You can double check, then Control B. And it should just help you bevel the edge, okay? If that's what you want, that's the look you want, no problem. Alright. A little small. Can always scale it back up to work on it too. But maybe we'll do the top edge a little bit. But we'll just grab the whole face and then we'll Control B. Like that. Okay? Maybe there. I think that'll be a good look. I think it was the top one. Let's check. Let's click off that and check actually. Yes. So I think I can just hit 0 here. Yep. And that'll put us exactly where we want to be, guys. I should have copied it too, but I didn't. And then when you're happy, Shift D. We will copy it. Mess that stuff, guys. Let's see where a good 90 is. No, that's not it. Okay. And we are going to be a receptacle for our spark plug wire. I'm going to shrink this down a little bit. I'm not going to connect anything yet because we don't want to cause any more issues later. In case we got a bool or do some trickery to get through this, because this is not going to be an easy process, guys. Alright. Let's try. I don't know if we should go straight out and then down, or if we should try to do it more loose than that. Usually I think it's the closest to the closest, but I'm not sure. I don't know if it matters. You guys know engines better than me. Set it the best way it should be. Hopefully you know engines better than me. If you don't, then I'm glad you're learning. I'm glad you decided to take this on. Remember, if you're getting nervous or if this is stressful, take a few breaths. Pause the video. Get yourself some water. Get yourself a tea. Just relax for a minute. It's going to be alright. We're going to get through this. If this is too easy for you, then you show me what we should be doing, because you should be making tutorials as well. Maybe you just watch for ideas, I don't know. Alright. Either way, I'm just glad you're here. I should say that. I am grateful. I'm glad everybody's here watching. We're just going to shrink this down until we are happy with the size of it, and then we were going to kind of walk it into where we need it. And it's going to be a little bit of sizing because we're not going to have a perfect shape on this. We could have kept on using our hollow tube, but we're going to use a full tube because it's going to be less vertices. It's going to cost us less in resources. And it may not make sense at this moment, but it's going to make sense later when your game runs really smoothly, if that's what you're doing. Okay, so we're going to make it smaller because it's going to go inside, so that way if there's any bit of size discrepancy, it shouldn't show up so much because we're going to be sitting inside of it. Like that. Okay. Hopefully that works for you. And if not, pause the video and go make it work. Alright. Let's move this. So I'm too long. I won't say that joke. I wanted to Michael Scott it right there, but I didn't because we're doing a YouTube video. Oh, I don't swear, but I make jokes, that's for sure. Alright. Shift D. Okay, let's stand it back up, right? Okay. Now we just gotta match some other things, obviously, I guess. But this is probably what we would want to copy for the other pieces. So let's just go ahead and grab these three. Yes. Let's grab it the opposite way. That way, that way, that way. And then Control J. Right. Okay. I don't know. It looks like it is. So let's Shift D. Let's check. And let's try to... Yes. Success. Okay. So Shift D. And I know they don't line up right now, but we'll have to figure that out, guys. We'll get there. Let's just do that. We should only have to figure out side to side until it matches. Find a good angle to look until you know it matches. I'm going to say that's a match, and then we're going to shift D, and hopefully this last one also lines up. Yep. Alright. Okay, guys, now the magic begins, okay? Oh boy, this is why I say sometimes you start a project and then when you're getting a little farther into it, you just wish you didn't start it. But we'll get there. We'll do this. We can do this, guys. Don't worry, I got to do all the thinking, not you. Alright. Which way do you want to go? Not that way, that's for sure. It shouldn't be the Z, but let's try it. Yeah, I knew it was going to be because it shouldn't be. But I think I flipped it sideways, so it makes sense, I guess. So we're basically just going to try to line it up. It looks like it's a little different than that, so maybe 40. Okay. As best as you can, you might have to do it slightly different. Let's get this one kind of heading in the right direction. So we'll do, I don't know, 15. That's pretty close, and we'll finish them up a little better after. Let's just get them lined up, okay? This should be minus 15. And what was this one? 40, so minus 40. Alright, and we're using our math to do a lot of the work for us already, guys. Good work. Now we're going to do this because it changes the size of them too. So we're going to have to do another sideways one. I'm just thinking it out. Alright. Let's get this one in a better position, I suppose. And we'll work on connecting this side, I suppose, first. Let's do a little shorter, obviously. And we're going to have to do some kind of cap to cap onto. And just slightly shorter, so let's do this. Okay. And then we're going to make a cap. Shift D. Move it down. S. Make it wider. And then we're going to scale it down this way. It's going to be our bridge in between the two pieces. So we'll probably put some shape on that before we connect them or anything. Let's just kind of get them in place first, okay? Let's do maybe a little bit bigger. Like that. And it's going to connect to this guy too. So let's do this. We'll pull him out a little bit maybe. We'll maybe do this one down a little bit. Alright, that looks pretty good. We'll flip to edit mode on this one. Grab that face, Control B, and let's just do one of these. Decide where you want to stop it, just to give it some shape. Maybe we'll do the same on the other end, just to make it look like it's also connecting. Okay. Now, it looks like a connector. Now, I hope you agree with me. If it doesn't, you're going to have to make something else. I apologize, but I believe that looks like a connector to me. So I'm just going to go ahead and move it a little bit over and connect it to the first one. Probably something like that. Okay. Well, maybe I should have done this different, that it made more sense, but because I feel like I should have done them not on an angle like that, but maybe this is going to make sense, but maybe I should fix this, because I don't think it's going to make sense. Did we reattach those? Yes, okay. So go to that piece, go into edit mode with tab. Sorry guys, we're going to have to remove these. 2, 3, P selection. Then we're going to grab the last one with L. Click off those if you can. L for the last one, P selection. Okay, the first 3 should be 1. So we can just hit delete. Okay? This one should be on its own, so now we can move it around. Maybe we'll do this. Get close to the edge. And we have no one there. So we're going to have to just guess at this one. Shift D. And let's give it the biggest gap we can for we can get the wires past each other. I think this is going to make more sense, and I apologize for the mistake. But I think this is a better idea of how we should do it, probably. So I'm going to Shift D again. Let's see if we can use our... Yeah, we can. So you're just going to take out the minus. There we go. Shift D. Take out the minus. Did I do it? No, I must have messed it up. There we go. And again, sorry guys, I just kind of have to figure it out on the fly, so just the way it is. Maybe we'll keep these loose while we're working on this, just in case. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to scoot this guy over. And this should be perfectly in the middle, so we'll do these guys to these guys. Would probably make the most sense, but let's make sure we got this in place before we do anything. It looks better, side to side. Maybe go down a little bit. And then we'll walk this up a little bit. Something like that. And then we'll just expand it a hair. And then we'll walk it up a little bit until we have a fit. Something like that, guys. And yeah, I could see that it's off one way, but we're not done yet. Okay? We're just going to do one wire at a time. So you can see the angle's off just a hair. I don't know which way it is, but let's try minus 16. It's the wrong way. So minus 14. Sorry, minus 14. Should be perfect. I think we got it, guys. Oh, we're going to have to make that side journey a little bit. And I already attached that, didn't I? Yeah, I wonder. Probably get away with just doing that, but you know what? The length's going to be different on every single one, so let's not do that. I went back too far. Sorry, minus 14. Just went back until that point. We moved that back, so we're going to have to just use another piece, I think, to make the connection. Shift D. And if you'd rather use a square to kind of hide the shapes a little bit better, or a rounded piece and make this one a little bit shorter, actually that might be a better idea to do that, just to kind of hide this one. Okay, and what would be best, do you guys think? I wonder. I can't hear you, obviously. I wish I could hear you. I wish I could hear your ideas. So I would try them, and I would say good idea if it was a good idea. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying all this. This is all still an experiment to me, and depending on how many likes and how much this helps people, I'll keep going. Oops. Tab into edit, and then we're going to hit Control B, like we always do, and just make a perfect circle. Out of edit mode. Alright. And I know it's the wrong shape, but we'll fix that. So yes, hopefully this has been helping you guys. And if it is, make sure you help me back to help other people and thumbs up me. Or whatever people do. Alright. Alright. It's going to come down quite a bit in scale, obviously. But let's make this shape work. Probably going to have to be on a minus 14, I'd assume. Same as that one. So maybe we could do that now, I think. Was it Y? Let's find out. Went the opposite way, so we must be on a different axis. So we'll do 14, I guess. That did not work either. Oh, I see. That's the wrong axis, so we'll go 14 here. Nope, that's probably the wrong one. Is that the wrong one? Yes. Sorry about that, guys. It's the z-axis, minus 14. Should be right. Sorry about that. A little confusion. What things were. What's happening? What's going on? I don't understand. Okay, and hopefully we can kind of hide this shape to make the quarter. And I could go into a different way to do this, but I'm just going to cover the basic ways in these videos because I imagine if you're watching, you're probably just getting used to Blender or getting back into Blender. Maybe you've been out for a while. So I'm just using these tools to just kind of show ways we can trick our way through things, basically. Make it look a certain way that we want. Just go into edit mode here. I'm going to grab that face, and we're just going to drag it this way so it's just not so noticeable. Maybe like that. Now obviously there's a bit of edges there that could be better, but I think overall it's probably fine. I don't know if I feel fine about that. I kind of want to use a tube now, or use that for the whole piece. What if I just brought that up a bit? Just kind of looks bad, so I'm trying to figure this out. It's a little bit weird on the edging. I'm not sure if I like it. Well, we'll go with that for now. If you guys got a better way you want to do the corner, I'd say go ahead. If you want to use a tube and just match them up as best as you can on the corner. Obviously they're going to be a little bit off, but maybe you can smooth the edges or adjust the vertices. Again, I'm just giving you an example of how to do this, right? So, okay, let's do some more of those, I suppose. Shift D. Oh, we can use our minus here to put it there for us. You're going to have to do them separately, apparently. Perfect, okay. And I'm not attaching them yet, just in case we have any issues. So this one's going to be 16, I think. Nope, 14 it is again. I guess they're the same on both sides. My bad, guys. Again, that's why I told you guys earlier we were going to try to keep things on the exact same axis for we're able to do things like that, to just like change it over basically to put it on the other side. We can just do this and we don't have to do as much shuffling. We know it's 14 on the axis of Z, I think. Sorry, 6. Is it 14? I think it's 14. Okay, right. And again, you might have to shuffle it a bit around, but I think we're pretty much in place. Okay, perfect. Right, now we have spark plugs that connect to our the heck is that? Distributor plug. Alright, so this is going to give us the timing on our engine that's going to make it be able to fire up and run, basically. So if you don't know much about engines and you're following along, kudos, because you'll probably learn a bit anyways when we're going, what I know, because I'm no professional, but I'm just going to Shift D those two, and we're going to drag them back. Might have to have a look around to make sure they're pretty much in place. But you are learning something anyways, and good for you. Good for taking these steps. We'll Shift D that, and when we try to put the minus on it, because we're now on the other side, we're going to have to do them one at a time as we just learned. So we'll just do that. Alright, good work. Okay guys, so I think this is pretty clean. I think it looks pretty good. I don't know, I'm happy with it. Maybe you're not and you want to change it. Feel free to do that. Just remember to pause the video while you catch up. I'm just trying to give you an example, and this is definitely good enough for an example, so I'm just going to go with it. So Shift D on this one, and we're going to go ahead and change this to 0, just for we don't get it much off its axis that it's already on. Maybe move it something like that, something like this, and this is on a minus 40, so let's try minus 40. Okay, looks pretty good. We might have to shuffle it a bit. Let's stretch it. Again, try to make a clean connection if you can. It's pretty far this time. Looks like we might have to change the angle. So it looks like it's going to be 41, minus 41. It's going to be the temperature where I live pretty soon. It's a joke. It's not going to be quite that cold, but it's going to be cold soon. I do not like the cold. Let me know in the comments how you guys feel about the cold. Am I being a baby about it? Or do you agree? Is cold the worst thing ever? I'm just going to scoot it over until it looks good. And then we're probably going to have to do some work here, so we're just going to pull this in until it's almost flat on the second one. Like so. Grab some more of the faces and let's just sweep it in some more, okay? Try to hide that edge as best as we can. We had to go a little too far that time. But maybe we can copy this one for the other one. Okay. I think that looks pretty clean again. Okay. Maybe you disagree. Feel free to change it. So I'm going to change that to that. This to 0. We just duplicated it. I'm going to wheel this over here now. And then I'm going to do 41 this way. And then we're going to wheel it over and wheel it in. See what we got. Something like that. And by George, I think we got it, guys. Looks like it's off half a degree for some reason. Oh, that one's not at 41. That would do it. That would do it. Alright, so now that's perfect. Sorry about that, guys. At least we spotted it before we got too far ahead and didn't realize that it was off a degree, right? But you use mathematics to do a lot of the work in this. And just by using the location and using the plus and minus, right? We've let the lines do a lot of the work for us, and it's a very smart technique to keep it going. Alright, so there's a few ways we can do this. We can put a bundle around these and we can like make it look like it's one item. You can, depending on your game, you can have it for, they set in individually, you have to buy each one, and maybe as you place them they shape for you to this. Or maybe you just put it in one piece and there's no bundle around it and it's just one piece anyways. That's what we're going to do. Okay? So you do you. If you need to pause the video, go ahead again. But we're just going to slowly but surely attach all these. And you're probably going to want to put your placement point probably either the distributor or up here. But we'll start at the distributor. Just grab all 4 of these. All these above it. Make sure you're not grabbing anything else, just the wires, piece by piece. That should be the last piece of each one. Then Control J. Now, your spark plugs are 1. You can move them as 1. When you put them in your game, you can put them in as 1. Let's find them here. You'll find a block highlighted, okay? Go to it. Backspace it, type in capital S, spark plugs. Gonna help later, especially if you're importing it. You're gonna want to name all this stuff at one point. It's just one more thing that's named, right? As the parts are completed, you can go ahead and name them. Let's do the same with our distributor. Oh, I don't really, I'll probably be able to spell it. I am probably one of the worst spellers. I'll be the first to admit it. So feel free to make fun of me. But Control J. We are going to name this Distributor. And that's probably not right. You go ahead and spell it right. And feel free to make fun of me. Alright. So, point is we're going to name it for a reason. We're going to attach this to the engine. I don't know if we should attach it yet. I think just in case we better not, in case we got to do any more bools. Because we are going to have to add some kind of battery and spark plugs or something like that. Oh, sorry, not spark plugs, but some attachments. We're going to have a starter, an alternator. We're going to have to attach our electrical wires to our starter. We're going to have to ground it on the engine somewhere with a bolt. And so we got our starter and alternator, and then ground it to the engine, and that should be good for what we're going to have attached. We're going to use a similar system to this to do it. So if you'd like to follow along with me in the next video, feel free. We're going to have some fun, and we'll make it work. We always do. Okay? I hope you had a lot of fun with me today. Make sure you like, subscribe, thumbs up, and make sure that you have a look at my game if you're interested in supporting me. I would love to see if you guys would like my game, or if you think it's a fun time, or maybe even give me advice what I could change in it. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Have a great night.